to representing the International Action Center, I am also a co-coordinator of the May 1st Coalition for Worker and Immigrant Rights in New York City. And as part of that, I want to enter into the debate for this weekend some of the lessons from the immigrant rights movement as we discuss tonight strategies and tactics in the struggle to end U.S. imperialism's wars and occupation. And I want to draw on these lessons from the Latino struggle in recent periods where many of the speakers have already addressed, but not forgetting that, and before I say that, I want to thank the organizers of this conference. We may be a little bit pigment challenged, and maybe a lot of us have gray hair, but this is a visionary event that filled a vacuum, that people were hungry to come together to struggle against this war. And so I really want to thank the organizers for doing this. And as we talk about the Latino struggle, one of the most important things that the anti-war movement must pay attention to and respond to whenever we can is reactions such as the horrible killing of Oscar Grant in Oakland, California, yet another African-American brother beat down by racist police. And we must continue to fight justice for Oscar Grant. And not forget the 7-year-old child in Detroit, Ayanna Stanley Jones, who was killed by police. Another sign of the devastation and depressive conditions in Detroit, Michigan. But I want to focus now on the immigrant rights struggle, not only because this is one of the most dynamic movements in this country today, not only because over 1 million immigrants and their supporters marched, not only on 2006, but 2010 as well, reviving May Day once again in this country, but because the attacks emanating from the White House, Wall Street, and the Pentagon also amount to a war against immigrant workers. How else could you describe the ongoing militarization of the U.S.-Mexican border, the odious racial profiling of workers of color, the painful breaking up of entire families, including leaving children alone at home when their parents have been detained, the mass incarceration of workers whose only crime was trying to survive. Since 2001, U.S. policy on immigration has been framed as a security issue. This is an attempt to demonize immigrants when it is instead a labor issue, a civil rights issue, and an issue of U.S. foreign policy. The incalculable deaths on the border, in detention centers, all amount to a vicious racist war. And that's why this conference has already come out so strong on this issue, but must continue to condemn this war on immigrants as we condemn the ongoing wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, Palestine, Pakistan, and the threat of a new war on Iran. Nor can we forget the continuing U.S. threats against North Korea. Bring all the troops home. And you want to resolve the problems with the city, then end all aid to Israel. That's a hell of a lot of money. As 7,000 U.S. troops land in Costa Rica, why are they there? They are there because of the revolutionary process in Bolivia and Venezuela. They are there because of the ongoing symbol of resistance that our beloved Cuban Revolution continues to play. And they are there because of the people of Honduras who have fought against the bloody coup that this government was behind. Honduras is a great example of how the immigrant question has nothing to do with foreign policy, has nothing to do except manipulation and control of workers. Because if the far right wing was really against immigrants coming here, then they would have let President Manuel Zelaya carry out the policies that he was going to do, which would have meant that Honduran workers wouldn't have forced to leave. Yes. I am so glad that the organizers of this conference already agreed not to have their April actions close to May Day, because that would have been quite a problem for the immigrant rights movement. And so we must applaud the fact that the demonstrations have been moved to April 9th, because it's a good development and a revolutionary one that May Day has been revived in this country. And why? Because it widely opens up the possibility of advancing the righteous struggle for jobs, legalization, and an end to war in this country. Perhaps one of the greatest lessons from the immigrant rights movement today is that there is no way in hell that we can count on the powers that be. The stalemate Congress has opened up the door to SB 1070, but Arizona is no excuse for us to support the Schumer plan on immigration, and we must come out against the Schumer plan. So, I want to end there because they're telling me to stop. I just want to say, free Lynn Stewart, free Mumia Abu Jamal, free Dr. Afia Siddiqui and all political prisoners. No war abroad, no war at home. Sí se puede.